If in life you conform to nature, you will never be poor, and if you conform to people's opinion, you will never be rich. Don't be afraid of death. While you're alive, you're not. When it comes, you won't be. In philosophical discussion, it is the victor who wins more, in the respect that he multiplies knowledge. Death is nothing to us, for all good and bad consists in feeling, and death is the deprivation of feeling. The study of nature creates men not boastful and eloquent, and not flaunting education, an object of rivalry in the eyes of the crowd, but men of courage. Pleasure is the beginning and the end of a happy life. Of all the things given to us by wisdom to live happily through life, above all is the skill of friendship. Only people can be so unreasonable and even insane that some are driven to death by the fear of death. Quite insignificant is he who has many reasons for leaving life. First watch with whom you eat and drink, and then what you eat and drink. For getting drunk without friends is the business of a lion or a wolf. No fool is happy, no wise man is unhappy. Mortal, glide through life, but don't be drunk on it. Thank blessed nature for making the necessary easily available and the unavailable unnecessary. The most terrible of evils, death, has nothing to do with us, for while we exist, death is still absent. When it comes, we no longer exist. The man who is dissatisfied with a little is never satisfied with anything. No one, seeing evil, chooses it, but is caught, enticed by evil, as if it were good in comparison with more evil than it. Do everything as if Epicurus were looking at you. Others spend their whole lives preparing the means to live. One cannot live pleasantly without living reasonably, morally, and justly, and, conversely, one cannot live reasonably, morally, and justly without living pleasantly. He who seems fearful cannot be free from fear. The greatest fruit of justice is serenity. To live well and to die well are the same science. Everyone leaves life as if he had just entered it. If in life you are consistent with nature, you will never be poor, and if you are consistent with people's opinion, you will never be rich. Don't spoil the impression of what you have by coveting what you don't have. Remember that once you only hope to get what you possess now. From nettles you extract the threads, from wormwood the medicine. Bend only then to lift up the fallen. Have always more intelligence than self-love. Ask yourself every night what good things you have done. Have always a new book in your library, a full bottle in your cellar, a fresh flower in your garden. Always work. Always love. Love your wife and children more than yourself. Don't expect gratitude from people and don't get upset if they don't thank you. Guidance instead of hatred, a smile instead of contempt. The belief in immortality was born out of the thirst of insatiable men, recklessly taking advantage of the time that nature has given them. The wise will find this time sufficient to bypass the whole circle of attainable pleasures, and when the time of death comes, the sated one will step away from the table, making room for other guests. One human life is enough for the wise, but the foolish will not know what to do with eternity. For great pleasures it is necessary to limit oneself. The ultimate goal of a blissful life is bodily health and mental serenity. The life of a fool is joyless and full of fear because he postpones everything for the future. There is nothing to fear in life to one who has truly understood that there is nothing to fear in non-life. If you want to make someone rich, you don't have to add money to him, you have to put down his desires. All desires should be presented with this question: what will happen to me if what I seek because of my desire is fulfilled, and if it is not? The greatest fruit of limiting desire is freedom. It is foolish to ask the gods for what man is capable of delivering to himself. It is better not to be afraid, lying on a straw, than to be anxious on a golden bed. Empty are the words of that philosopher, with which no human suffering is cured. As medicine is of no use if it does not expel disease from the body, so is philosophy if it does not expel disease from the soul. A wise man chooses a friend who is cheerful and agreeable. Happiness is the displacement of suffering and anxiety. It is better with reason to be miserable than without reason to be happy. Do not avoid doing small favors, they will think you also capable of great ones. The trouble with stupidity is also that it always starts life over again. He who does not remember past happiness is an old man today. Rarely does fate hinder the wise.